All right. Got Don Frank is working, is going to catch the replay. Thank you, Don. I really appreciate any views. Any time that you take the time to watch the content, I really do appreciate that. I really do. Bree, what is up? What is up? Bree just had a great stream, chit-chatting. I popped up over there, so I'm a little bit late. I've been trying to work out a difference that I have with Bree about commitment. But I think it's almost like an intent versus impact type of thing. What? That's a premiere. Okay. Give me a second. I will. About to pull up. I need to pull up my What up, Bree? But yeah, that was dope chat. I'm glad I had that because I think I have a better understanding of where you are with that commitment thing. It's like it would be really disheartening to think that people couldn't expect commitment. But nobody's obligated to stay no matter what. So I'm with you. But I gotta my channel live. There we go. Pause that. Alerts are popping off. Cool. All right. Well, good day, everybody. It is. I'm gonna do Bree's grounding technique. It is April the 12th, 2023. Man, Whiskey Wednesday. Man, we about to sip on a little something today. What up, N.A.? Yeah, I think finally got an understanding. Man, I'm like, Jesus Christ. But yes, today, folks, man. Oh, where are my manners? Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to Critically Drinking. I'm your host, Rashawn, and we are here again to set a high bar for conversation, for conceptualization, for communication. All right? Every single stream. That's how we do it on here. On tap for today is the green fizzy drink that will leave your stomach twisted every single time. It is jealousy, folks. We are going to talk about jealousy. Let me work the poll real quick, but we're going to chit chat. I have a couple of videos queued up. We're going to get messy in the middle, and then we'll have some learning afterwards. All right. So let me work the poll. You know, I'd like to get my heart rate up working the poll, but it's going to take me a second to get that all loaded up. What is up, Inya? Hello. Just hanging out, kicking it on a Wednesday. Hope everybody's doing well. While I get this poll up. Let me quit. Un momento, por favor. Felt like I just needed some music today. For my energies. All right. Almost done working the poll, y'all. Give me a second. And I'll get that question out to y'all. But how are y'all doing today? How are you feeling? How are your energies? JP would say, how's your spirit? How's your spirit? How's your energy? How are you feeling? How's life? How's everybody doing today? Go ahead and let me know. Poll is up. We're working the poll. Since we're talking about jealousy, work that poll. Yeah, gotta get on that poll, man. Gotta get on that poll. First thing, gotta get on quick and fast. Spin that poll. What is something that you all can admit to being jealous or envious of? What is something? Who is someone that you can admit to being jealous of? I know recently, I can admit this. I was jealous of my own mother. I was jealous of my mother. And I'm going to tell you what. My nephew, y'all know I talk about my nephew quite a bit. Love my nephew dearly. If I had a child, I'd want it to be my nephew. I know that sounds weird. Not the way that sounds. If I had a child, I'd want my nephew to be the type of person that my son was, and my son to be the type of person that my nephew is. Love him dearly, adore him, respect the mess out of that guy. But I was jealous because, man, he talks to my mother every single day. I see him once a week. She talks to him every day. But I know that's his grandmother, sweet as pie, all that stuff, man. You walked into me doing a body rub. Oh, gotta get that. Do the body roll to work off a cinnamon roll. They working and listening. That's what's up. Appreciate you, Ty. Fly, Ty. Black man body roll. Absolutely, man. We gotta come out of that shell, man. We gotta come out of that shell. We gotta do some other things. Moms are God tier phone calls, and for all intents and purposes, my mother was, the guardian supreme, the mother figure for the most part for my nephew. So they have a deep connection. And although he credits me for being like the father figure, I don't like that terminology. I don't like the way that feels. I got a lot of problems. We've talked. Let's have a little session real quick. I don't know. I've rejected the term father figure. I've rejected the term mentor. I don't know what it is, but I really just do not want to feel like I'm responsible for another person's life. There's something I'm willing to call it a fear. I have a fear of being responsible for another person's life. So, after that admission, let me read this comment. I can admit I have dealt with jealousy for some of my family members because they have my mother's love and support and I don't. That right there, I'm going to tell you, my baby sister, who, if you see the little bar right there, she did donate to the channel, man. Appreciate you. Gonna keep that up for a minute. She was my mother's favorite. My mother said she didn't have any favorites, but she had a favorite, and it was my baby sister. My baby sister could do no wrong. What wrong she did was excused or overlooked. And if she did enough wrong and was ready to get like a whooping, she could throw me in the pot and we were both getting a whooping. So, but yeah. But they have such, my mother and my nephew. I love the conversations that we all have together, but there's a part of me that's jealous because she gets to have those conversations every day. Won't even lie. And I've been on the other end with the very same dynamic. My nephew has a closer relationship with me than my older sister. So she's kind of exhibited some like, man, did he call you? Did he call you? And me and him talk way more frequently than her and him because they fell out. So he quit talking to her. So there's jealousy to go around. And I've been on both ends of this dynamic with the same person, my nephew. Jealous of my mother, but I've had somebody jealous of me because of that relationship. So it's strange to see it from both sides of it like that. Experiencing both ends of jealousy, being the one that somebody's jealous of and being jealous of somebody else. And not in an unhealthy way. I wouldn't take anything away from my mother's relationship at all. I would. I love it for them. I love it for him. But part of me wishes I had that for myself. But, let me read this comment. I just get jealous of people who were born into some sort of wealth or opportunity. We're about to talk about one of those people. Must be nice. But now I can see myself reaching a level where my kids won't have to start from scratch. So I'm Gucci. I like it. I love it. I love it. Speaking of, I've been listening to quite a bit of the gender skirmish content as usual, per usual. I love the messiness. I know I got a problem. It's not healthy. But I realized that all of these conversations came down to men and women fighting over the power and the privilege that the other person possessed. That was a lot of P's, a lot of alliteration. I want to shout out Mr. He Said. He mentioned something to that effect recently. And Kevin Samuels would say this one quote, and I know the manosphere is taking it and run with it. Women want the authority of men, the privilege of women, and the accountability of a child. And while I do find women are jealous of some of the perceived power that men have, the issue is nobody told women, it seems like, that the unintended consequences of having to wield and maintain that power it's not really fun. It's not really fun to have all of that heat on your shoulders. And men, as Bree pointed out in Discord, are constantly whining about all of the privileges that women get to walk in. The recipient and the beneficiary of numerous double standards. while still being able to hoist expectations on the men's. I know that's not the right word to use. The men's. I'm going to say the men's because I know that other. I know. I've been told. Okay. But they get to hoist expectations on the men's and laugh at the men when they try to retaliate with those same expectations. Get laughed out of the club, the house, the bar, the street, wherever we're at. I've seen women laugh so hard when, like, oh, well, why don't you do this then? It's sad. But we all seem to be competing for the very same unburdened position. Men and women are constantly fighting over the same thing. Some weird tit for tat equality where nobody wins. One side just loses more slowly. That's a quote from The Wire. I love that show. But we're getting ready to talk about my homegirl. I see it also in how many men are verbally warring with each other and with women over Ron Weasley from Harry Potter and her Slytherin house name, Just Pearly Things. Friendships. I've seen friendships. People that call themselves friends. They've had those relationships strained, tested, maybe even ended. I've seen some associations sour pretty quickly. And jealousy is at the root of almost every last bit of it. Best I can tell, a lot of people are jealous of her outcomes. I mean, she out here, she's getting the follow, she's making bank. And that's fair. Some are jealous of the excuses and the cover that's being provided to her. And some are jealous of the cavalier attitude with which she can talk about and toy with the public image of Black people, Africans. Some are jealous of that. But she's definitely profiting from all of that. Hey, peace and love to Hanifa in the building. Personally, I do think that turnabout is fair play. And anyone making money by slamming the other gender should just steal and improve upon her content the same way she's doing to everybody else. A grifter. O'Shea, Duke Jackson, Abba and Preach. They are putting out multiple videos exploiting her the same way she's exploiting everybody else. So get them ad revenues, get them views, get them likes, get them clicks. Exploit her, exploit the exploiter. Colonize the colonizer. But that's neither here nor there. What's up, Von Bryant? Good to see you. How you doing? What is here is an opportunity to take a glimpse at the content creator that started a civil war. Now listen, we about to get a little messy for a minute, and then we'll come back and actually break down jealousy. What it is, what it isn't. What it is. But I really think, and I'm just going to say this quickly, that she's a complete idiot. She's a complete idiot. And anybody that really takes her seriously is just listening to an idiot. But I want to provide proof. I don't like just making a claim. I want you to see what I see. I need to know that you also can see this nonsense. I think that one will work right there. Bam. And hope all of you, the grift that keeps on grifting and giving. Absolutely. Okay, I'll be back for the breakdown. That's what's up. This will be short because this first clip is only about a minute. I might stretch it to 4 minutes. A minute and 40 seconds. She put so much stupid in a minute and 40 seconds that it's probably some type of world record. But this is the kind of person that people are listening to and that people are fighting over. People are disputing over this level of stupid. I just can't imagine going to war over a can of worms. Like, it's so pathetic. But I need y'all to hear this for yourself.
Claiming I have all the answers.
Of course you don't have all the answers. We're just talking.
So I have a couple solutions. So I have a couple ideas. I'll tell you.
These are her solutions. Just want to preface that.
I'll tell you. The first idea I have, I'm going to start a wife school.
I love it.
Yeah, so we're going to turn 304s into wives.
Let's start.
We're going to turn 304s into wives, yo. We're going to turn 304s into wives. She's so hip. She's so cool. She's so trendy. I love it. 304s into wives. Everybody knows you can't do that. But
stop.
That's my first idea.
Can we stop?
Number one.
Okay. Do you want to go through all the ideas? No.
You asked me. I'll tell you.
I want to talk about that one. Don't forget that one. I want to talk to you about that one.
Yeah. I got you.
Keep on going.
I got you.
We're having fun, guys.
My second idea is I'd like to run for an office someday because I feel like in order the laws to change for men, women have to do it. So
I love it.
Man, now listen, y'all hear that, y'all? She's so empathetic. She cares so much. I don't care. They'll just take down the video. They'll just take down the video, and I don't have any other strikes. So if nothing else, I could just clip her out. But she cares so much about men. She cares so much. She cares so deeply that she's going to run for office. That's her second solution. She's going to turn 304s into housewives. Now she's going to run for office to help change the laws for men. That's really important to remember, folks. She's going to change the laws, okay? She's going to fix things.
This is Pearl's world. I'd get rid of birth control. I'd ban it, but that'll never happen.
A lot of men won't like that. A lot of the men, that's my guy right here. He said, hell no. He said, don't get rid of that, baby.
Third solution. Her third solution is to get rid of birth control so that men have more kids. These men that she cares about, the men's rights advocacy that she proposes, so that men have more access to their children, more access to not have to be burdened with child support if they want to be in their child's lives. She wants them to have more children because there's no birth control. That's her third solution.
Yeah, if this is Pearl's world, I'd ban birth control. I think that's the root of all evil. And I'd actually go further. I'd go further.
Go ahead.
But I'm kind of extreme.
Say it.
I don't think women should vote.
Huh?
I don't think women should vote.
Lord Jesus, keep on going.
Yeah,
no women, you can't vote. No birth control. Keep it going.
No, because it's always freedom without responsibility. And
I
so,
love
like,
it.
the
Women
reason
should not vote. Pearly said it herself.
I'll tell you why, though. I'll tell you why. Because it's freedom without responsibility.
And
before women, like I believe in consequences for your decisions. So the men know if they vote someone batshit crazy into power, you guys get drafted. We don't. Women decide elections. We're 55% of the population. I think if we want to vote, equally draft us. Y'all want equality. And personally, I don't want to get drafted, so I'll be in the kitchen.
She said
she'll be in the kitchen. Men take all the responsibility, but women shouldn't vote. But she wants to run for office. So let's put these pieces of evidence together. Men won't get the legislation they need enacted unless women support it. If women have to do it. She said women have to do it. So she wants to run for office. She wants to run for office, but also doesn't want women to be able to vote. So she wants the men to vote her into office, which she probably wouldn't even qualify for office if you can't vote. You probably wouldn't be able to be up. But let's say that's magic. She's Ron Weasley. She's going to be able to run for office. Men are going to put her in office through the rule of law that she's saying that women have to use to change the outcomes for men. So men don't have the political clout and capital to get their own legislation passed on their own behalf in houses and senates that they are the majority of. But if the women are stripped of their vote, men will then put her in office where then she can get this stuff done. That's the genius that these people are ending business relationships over, friendships over. She's a complete moron, in my opinion. But that was 5 months ago. Surely she's had time to grow, to change, and to evolve her views. She's obviously wised up over the few, these months have probably taken a toll on her. A lot of controversy, a lot of sparring back and forth for different content creators. She's probably grown quite a bit in these last few months. What y'all think?
I recently decided that women shouldn't vote.
You decided women shouldn't vote?
Yeah, that's a new opinion.
Why is that?
Okay. I'll take one for the team. Yeah.
Okay. Why shouldn't women vote?
Because we're chemically different every single day.
Right.
Yeah, okay. We make 70.
Well, hold on. Does that mean you shouldn't be on YouTube then? Because you're chemically different. Your opinions could be bullshit. Because
they could be. Yeah.
They could be. And women, did you know that you are chemically different every single day? So sometimes you are probably a carbon-based life form. Other times you're probably a crystalline entity. That's why you like the crystal so much. Other times you turn into smoke vapors, which is probably like why you like to burn sage. Your chemical composition changes on a daily basis. You should know that. I bet y'all didn't know. That's science. I've never listened to things, so I don't know its beliefs. Yeah. She's here to tell you what they are.
Should I be banned off of YouTube? What does that have to do with voting? It's like a false equivalency.
Okay.
So to me, it's like, okay, I feel like if shit goes south, who's going to war? Okay, you know,
Yeah.
I'm gonna let me start from the beginning. Let me start. Actually, I wanna start from how
you don't want to be jumping on this fucking train. Believe me.
I want to start with how I got this opinion.
Okay.
I want to start. Let me. Okay, because I heard from a guy named Rollo Tomasi, genius, right? Very smart.
He's a pickup artist, isn't he?
No.
Is he not?
No.
I don't know anything about that world.
No.
What is he?
So, no, he a lot of the stuff in the space of YouTube, like he's just like one of the thought leaders, I would say.
Okay.
But he's not a pickup artist.
No.
Okay.
No.
Is he the Italian comedian who's in his 70s and talks about? No, it's not.
No, he's not.
No.
Okay. Sorry, go ahead. We keep interrupting you.
Because I feel like when I say this, it sounds crazy.
It does a little bit.
Yeah, and when I first heard it, I thought it was crazy. Okay. But what I heard was that women didn't want to vote. So when I was like,
what do you mean women didn't want to vote?
Like the first
they threw themselves under fucking carriages to vote.
Some did.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, women didn't want to vote. We just talked about cognitive distortion yesterday, right? That overgeneralization. And then there's also a lack of scholarship. But women, yes. She's another one of those. Not too bright, but just smart enough to steal people's content to make herself richer. Because a lot of the questions we found out, there's evidence of it. She's actually admitted to it. She steals all of her questions from this other website. I can't remember the name of it, but she admitted to it twice. She's like, they do really good content. I just steal all of their questions. And I'm like, oh, wow. They might sue. I don't know. But women shouldn't have the right to vote. I still don't understand what is so fascinating about her opinion. Yeah, it's a bunch of rhetoric. Yeah, I find it hard to trust anything she says. It's hard to trust, but she's not bright. Number one, she's not bright. Women were throwing themselves under carriages to vote. Of course, that's not all women. But then you also have to put, if women have to throw themselves under carriages to try to gain the right to vote, they were essentially killing themselves as a demonstration so that other women that lived would be able to vote sometime in the future. They were sacrificing themselves for other women to have an opinion, right? That means the conditions were probably so repressive that other women would not have felt comfortable voicing their opinion to say, hey, I want to vote too. I think we're all smart enough to admit that a lot of people don't want to rock a boat, even without being under any system of oppression. Some people just don't like change. So if women are like, because I know a lot of black people, Dr. King was not popular. At the time that he was out there doing the civil rights stuff, people wanted them to keep your head down. Don't make a lot of noise. She's a dry comedian. Man, she's just dry. Not bright hair. Chris Classic in the building. She's light, but she's not bright. Yeah, it's just so goofy, and it's not thought out. It's not thought out. But this is her position.
But was that women at large?
I don't know.
No, it wasn't. The majority of women back then, we always talk about the suffragettes, but there was also the anti-suffragettes.
Yeah.
And that was the majority of women, when asked if they wanted to vote, said no. In the U.S. I don't know what it was like here.
Okay.
You know, this is U.S. And I was like, why?
Like right now, just to illustrate the point, right now, 2023, a majority of people, if you ask them, would they want to get rid of capitalism? They say no. But you know what most of us are suffering from? Unrestrained capitalism. So that somebody is suffering from something does not mean that they see a way out of the suffering. Suffrage. They just don't. They may not see. And what's up, Nova in the building? Yo, yo, yo. What is up, my guy? Appreciate you.
Why did women not want to vote? Now, so I read some of their writings from back then. Okay, and they basically said this is the beginning of the breakdown of the family, because back then when you got married, you became one, and you trusted your husband to make that decision. Okay, now that was one argument, and I was like, okay, well, but society's a little different today.
So then, and that supposition is that a woman having her own vote means that she doesn't trust her husband to have his own vote. He still has his own vote. It doesn't require any trust on your part for him to have his own vote because he still has his own vote.
Argument number 2. Back then, they had to be drafted. So any woman that wanted to vote had to go to war, because you're voting, in the US anyway, for your commander-in-chief. Because if they go to war, who's going to have to deal with the consequence? And that's where we're at, is because if shit goes south and we go to war, the men are the ones that are going to have to deal with the consequences. So, yeah, I felt like it.
Last part of this, if the men go to war, everybody has to deal with the consequences. Just like during the World War, when the women had to go into the factories, they had to go in. Everybody has to pick up the slack. If the men are gone, somebody has to take care of the children. Guess who does that? Guess who picks up the manufacturing? Guess who does all the work of the men that are missing? If all the men had to go to war right now, Russia, China, we're attacking America. Oh, we got to mobilize all the men in the country and as many of the women that are willing. Guess what the rest of the country has to keep doing? It has to keep functioning at a limited capacity. So women have to step in and do some things. Plus, a lot of the times, even if they weren't soldiers, women are on the front lines too as medics. They had the field nurses. There's a lot of positions that women could fill other than combatants to be qualified to help as far as preserving and protecting the country. So she's just not so bright. I missed her reasoning as to why women should not be allowed to vote. Because there's no responsibility that the women take on. They don't have to go to war like the men do. Women lose their brothers, husbands, and sons. The war is bad for everyone. Not according to Pearlie.
If we want to vote, we should be equally, because women want equality, equally drafted, just like the men. And now you're thinking, we don't have the draft anymore, right? That's probably your thought. However, we have selective service in the US, meaning that if a man, and if there's a crisis, right, and we do go to war, the men have to be like they then can be taken to, I'm butchering it a little bit. Does that make sense? But
yeah, she's butchering it.
And if they don't do this, they're fined $100,000. Is that equal? Is that fair? Where we have the same rights, but we don't have the same responsibilities if shit goes south? I don't think that's fair. So I thought about it. Would I want to be in selective service if I had to pick? My answer is no. No, I will give up the right to vote to not have to do that. And I think that would be fair. I think feminists, they want equality, but they don't want the responsibility that comes with it. That's my opinion.
Okay.
I wanted to share that. There's a second part of this, another about 2 minutes of this conversation. And because, I mean, for me, she's a complete thoughtless simpleton. And it blows my mind that people are going to war with each other, a little civil war, over this moron. What was that? 50-51? No, that was the next one. 50-51. This is when she talks about interviewing that guy, Nick Fuentes, who is known to be a white supremacist, and he said some racist things on her channel. That's the whole controversy. They had her apologizing, fake apologizing, all that good stuff. I'm gonna let that play and pause in too. But on the voting thing, her views are just so silly. Women want equality. For me, I do believe equity is a better word, if I'm using the right word. Everything doesn't have to be the same for it to be fair. If we are going to inhabit the same country, the same kind of thing that the gender war is doing, dividing men and women against each other, trying to pit them against each other, I believe men and women were built different physically, biologically, we're built different. So we're better suited for different functions. So we have equal responsibility divided amongst our different functions. To me, We can have fairness, but fairness should not be sameness. And to me, that's intelligent. Nick Fuentes is also a Christian nationalist, attention-seeking opinions. So we can both hate him equally. Absolutely. Holocaust denier, slavery denier, this kind of, that's not that bad. It was a cruise ship. But I'm going to play this part just a little bit because, again, she gets into the stupid. And I just want to just point out the stupidity of the people that everybody's so jealous of. That all these panels and countless hours. Again, if you're going to use her for content, man, I'm all for it. Use her for content. She's a complete simpleton. She doesn't deserve much respect. But do not turn on your own friends and acquaintances and business associates. That is silly. Don't cast your swine before pearls.
They love me here.
Listen, there's something else. I think it's been by, you know, we call the show Trigonometry.
Yeah.
But even by our standards, this has been pretty triggering for a lot of people. However, there's something even more triggering that I do have to ask you about, because between the time that we booked you to come on the show and you actually coming on the show, you had a guy called Nick Fuentes.
Oh yeah, Nick.
Yeah. And then you did an interview with this guy. Like, this is not a guy we would ever have on because he's a racist, Holocaust denying piece of shit as far as I'm concerned. But you had him on, and then you took that interview down and apologized. So what happened with that whole thing?
Oh, I can't talk too much.
Now, real quick, did the interview, took the interview down from the backlash, and she apologized, but she had like a little comment not too long after she apologized, almost like making it seem like it was fake. But I want to just put that caveat in there.
There's like legal things going on.
There's legal things going on.
Yeah, there's not with Nick.
It really is.
Yeah, but there's I have a video coming out about that whole thing. So you guys have to wait for the video. Well, but I will say I did not find Nick to be racist. My staff actually did not find him to be racist.
Wait, he was talking to an Italian girl next to you and saying that she shouldn't have a black boyfriend or something along those lines.
He doesn't believe in. See, I don't really want to go into like the race mixing stuff too much.
No, but you just said he wasn't being racist, and I watched him be racist on your show.
Well, I mean, to me, he says the same things that like there's a lot of people that think like that. But
it doesn't make it less racist just because other people think it.
You could say that, but to me, it's like, how do I put it? His argument is more about culture. It's easier if you date someone in your culture. You'd have to watch the full thing, but was like being a bit like combative to him. And to me, he was just like kidding. But yeah,
he did say, I am a bit racist, even in that. And in fact, in your apology, you said that he said racist things.
There's a video coming out about all of that, but.
There's a video coming out about all of that. She admitted that he said racist things. He said the woman, because she's Italian, she should not be dating a black guy. That's racist. It's okay to say that, but now she's backtracking. He's not racist, but he believes people should be separated by skin color. Wait a second. To me, he was just kidding. Yeah, she's just stupid. We're gonna move on from just Pearly, but she's an idiot. She's clearly an idiot. But this is the person that has the little manosphere space all in a flutter and a little tizzy. It blows my mind. I don't see anything of value to be fighting over here, but I'll leave that to the gender warriors. Now that we've taken out the trash like Nova did, let us move on to some smart people. I do want to break down what jealousy is with the help of some of these intelligent people so we can refresh ourselves, get that out of our minds. Jealousy means to be hostile toward a rival or one believed to enjoy an advantage. So, having a little level of hostility towards somebody that has an advantage over you. Envy is painful or resentful awareness of an advantage enjoyed by another, joined with a desire to possess the same advantage. So so envy might be the better word when I was talking about my mother. Because it's not resentful, but there's a discomfort about the advantage that she enjoys. And I wish I possessed that same relationship with my nephew. I wish that we had the same. I ain't gonna lie to you. If he called me every day, I'd probably get annoyed because I'm just that kind of person. But knowing that somebody else has it, I want it. So that's probably envy. About to jump into a meeting, be back. Hey, appreciate you. Give me a second. Bop, bop, bop. So we are getting ready to go into some Esther Perel because she talked about jealousy. And I liked, there are several parts about 1 minute each that I think are useful because I want to establish an idea. I want to establish an idea about, kind of like yesterday, the cognitive distortions in and of themselves are not good or bad. They're just, they just are. They just exist. What you take from them is what becomes good or bad. You have the negative feeling, and then where do you go with that feeling? Do you produce something positive or do you produce something negative with it? And that's kind of the premise or the thesis that I'm going for. But let me get the timestamp. Uno momento, por favor. Yes, but jealousy and envy come with the territory, like my man Puff said. 750. 750. All right, cool. Bring that in. Yeah, have a good meeting today. Definitely. Hope it's productive.
Is that you became more confident.
Yeah.
You felt less that your sense of self-worth is in the hands of the other person. And that and they turned away from you, that means that you are not enough.
Exactly.
Or that you're going to lose them or that they're going to leave you. That's what changed.
And then I'd be like hurt or empty or sad or in pain because of their actions. And I think that's 100%. I think I didn't feel like I was good enough or something where I was just like, you know what? It's all going to be okay. You know, if they do something or...
But this, it's all going to be okay, followed in different sense of yourself.
Absolutely.
Where you were less in a panic, less in the grip of they're going to abandon me and I'm not good enough. And from that place, you began to say, it's okay.
Absolutely.
Nothing bad is going to happen to me. That's how we diminish jealousy. It's not how we react to what the other person does. It's how we feel about ourselves that changes how we react about what the other person does.
Absolutely. And it's been an incredible freedom and gift that I received or gave myself. But it...
Oh, sorry, I skipped past that part. I went a little too far on that one. But talking about the feelings that arise from jealousies, things like insecurity, feelings of not being enough. So those things of possible abandonment. So those are the type of things that I might lose something. That I'm going to lose possession of something or some relationship. Those are feelings that can be stoked by jealousy. But those are indicators that you might need to make a change in some facet or need to have a different understanding of your situation. So she's going to talk a little bit further.
Diminishes them. They pride themselves when they say, I'm not jealous.
Really?
Yes. It's a kind of a thing like it's not a nice thing to feel. Other cultures see
Latin
jealousy.
Cultures,
it's intrinsic to love.
It's how you love.
If you're not jealous,
you don't love the person enough.
Yes.
Really?
That's a distortion in the other direction. But it's very cultural jealousy. Jealousy, if you track the magazines in
just pay attention to what he said. That's a distortion in the other direction. Making an assumption based upon the feeling that you have on either direction is the cognitive distortion. You feel like there's a deficiency between you and in comparison to somebody else. And once you make a judgment on yourself that you're less than or you're losing, that's a distortion. Or if you're like, oh, well, that means they love me because of, that jealousy, that's also a distortion, like you said, in the opposite direction. We're making faulty assumptions based on a feeling. And that's how most people govern their lives based upon assumptions that are predicated by bias when they make their choices.
America is a subject that disappears for decades sometimes and then suddenly reemerges. But it is often seen as a negative emotion. It isn't seen as an emotion that is so simply part and parcel of the experience of love.
Is jealousy then a healthy emotion in a life story?
It sometimes can be a perfectly healthy emotion, and sometimes it can be very, very challenging, and sometimes it can become pathological. It covers a whole range.
Where does
Muted. Thank you, Bree. Thank you so much. What I was saying was when she talked about, dang, I forgot what she just said. But there's a predetermined path for the thought. Yeah, we back. There's a predetermined path for the thought when we subscribe to binary, black and white, good or bad, healthy, unhealthy. It's a religious type of a mindset where there's a regiment of your thought is already predetermined. If I have a thought or an impulse, it filters either this way or that way. The path is already set. It's only got two choices, as opposed to having a full range of expression and experience from whatever feeling or thought that arises in your mind. You thought your internet went out? That was my bad. So when you set up something like jealousy is good or bad or healthy or unhealthy, it eliminates any other possibility, which limits your thoughts, which limits your capacity. And we do that in my estimation. Us settling everything down to a binary choice limits our potential. It limits our potential. So no, everything is not binary, black and white, healthy, unhealthy, good or bad. We need to expand past that. But that's a maturity in thought. And I don't think people are right. I don't think people are there. This is the last segment. It's about a minute and a half.
All over the world, by the way. When do you find yourself most drawn to your partner? Not sexually attracted, just drawn to.
When other people are interested in them, or
that's one of them. That is one of the main four.
When other people are flirting or giving them attention.
Yes. When I see them with other people, when I see other people captivated by them, when I see the magnetism that they have over other people, when I see how others are drawn to them, when they don't belong to me. Now, if you are jealous in a feeling that is really crippling and painful, then you do not enjoy that. You feel uncertain, you feel insecure, you feel scared, you feel like they could leave you. You realize that maybe, they're not attached to you. But if you are more grounded and if you feel more secure in your connection to your partner and to yourself, then when you see that experience, you have a tingling of jealousy, but it is a jealousy that actually increases your appreciation for your person.
Interesting. Yeah.
So that's an example of when do people experience jealousy in a way that actually is fueling.
Healthy jealousy, right? Okay.
I don't Maybe call it healthy and unhealthy because I don't think this is a puritanical definitions of health. It's just this is the issue: is it problematic or is it additive?
That makes sense.
It's more than is it healthy or unhealthy. I think healthy and unhealthy doesn't help us in this moment.
Say more than unhealthy or unhealthy. A better terminology. Is it additive? Or is it problematic? Does it add value to the life? So if I'm feeling jealous, does it indicate to me that there's something that I value or care about, or something that I'm concerned for, something that I want, desire? Do I then make appropriate steps to be like Bree talked about earlier, get good? There's something that I want. I need to earn my way towards. Maybe I need to earn the status. Maybe I need to earn the income to purchase. Like maybe I need to earn enough money to buy something. The same principle applies energetically. Maybe I need to do enough of something in my life to qualify for something else that I'm looking for. Excuse me. So instead of jealousy being good or bad, healthy or unhealthy, it's an indicator that lets me know something that I want, something that I feel I need, or something that I feel I lack. And then I make the appropriate steps, the healthy steps. Or do I sit in an unhealthy emotion because of a state of lack? So for me, that's a better stance to take. It's more empowering. That part is fascinating. I think it's more for women, though. Other people's positive perception of partner. That part, maybe. But I see men also. Because if you see an attractive woman, because Yella will say it all the time. I don't want a woman that not every other dude ain't looking at. He wants the positive perception of other people as well for his partner. So, I mean, there's quite, indicator. Just blew my fucking mind, asshole. You know what, man? Every time you come in here talking crazy, man, I just think about one thing. I just gotta tell you, man.
Oh, we should get normalized telling people when they say dumb shit. Like, we got to go back to telling people they're stupid. We need to go back to bullying people, letting them know, no, that's not really how the world works. You sound dumb. Change your way of thinking. But we don't bully people no more and tell them they're dumb. We need to go back to doing that.
Nova, you're dumb. All right? I gotta bully you. You're an idiot. Get out of here. We don't want you here. We don't like you. No, I'm messing with you. I'm messing with you. You are brilliant, my friend. Nova needs to find the tabernacle to sleep in. Ooh, he won't wake up, or unless he gets into Azazel. Unless he gets into Azazel. Azazel, however you pronounce it. But I like the way Esther Perel put that. There was a conversation or a clip, and I remember me and Bree were having a conversation about it. The porn conversation. It was the pornography. Does it add to or take away from the relationship? That's a very utilitarian mindset. And that's another ism that I believe in. I'm a utilitarianist. I believe in that. If you are jealous of men, of women, of another race, of another content creator, of a celebrity, does it move you to take positive action in your life? Does it guide you towards improvement? Or does it cause anxiety? Does it cause depression, unchecked anger, sadness, resentment? That would be you taking the unhealthy path from the jealousy, which again was an indicator. Just like pain. Pain is an indicator. It just lets you know that something's off. Something's off. I do get a little dumber every stream, so you may be right. Ooh, that's the parallel to go. But I want to bring this concept down just another level to more of a practical level. I want to step it down one more step. Give me a second. Up. Sorry. Bam, I need to speed this up because that's going to be too slow for me. This will be the last video of the day. The last video of the day. It's a little long, but it talks about jealousy. It's a lady, and she's talking about her experience with jealousy. So we're not using celebrities. We're not using educators. I want to use a practical example in real life, kind of like how I did with me and my mother and my nephew. I want to use something practical. So I'm gonna let this roll, and I'll interject here and there.
All right, let's go to Becca in Whiteland, Indiana. What's up, Becca?
Hey, thank you so much for your time.
Hey.
I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. I haven't got a good hey in a long time.
Real quick, man, just going to address this. Absolutely. If you're feeling jealousy and envy, what you're envious of, that's where you start to take what the AA people call it, fearless moral inventory. You need to take a look at your life and say, what is it saying to me? Is it something that I can have? Is it something that I should have? Is it something that I need? Is it someone? What is it? Is it something that's within my control? Can I improve enough? Do I want to put in the work to improve enough to have it? Do I want to work hard enough to save up to be able to take this trip? Like, all the different things need to be, this is where the work is. This is where the maturity is. You start doing the math. The math needs to start mathing in your own brain. And you got to make it work. Do I want this? Do I want it enough to do the work for it? Even if it's a relationship. Is it a job? I would say a lot of people need to evaluate, do they really want to be a good parent? Like, I mean, when I see all these kids out here unattended for hours, like, I can't stand leaving my window open. Because these kids are unattended for such large quantities of time under their own will, unsupervised, damaging property. And I'm like, obviously your parents do not love or care about you. They don't even know where you are because you go around these buildings and disappear. Nobody's watching you. A lot of people need to decide if they even care enough to be a quality parent. I'm like, God dang. But, and learning to healthily swallow what we can and build upon, what's that serenity prayer? God grant me the wisdom to know the difference. Yeah, Bree's already on it. Facts. Damn. Yeah, man. When they broke this person's stool, they had a stool out on the porch like a bench. Kids just collapsed it. I was like, oh God. These kids. Anyway. Sorry. Anybody that was on Twitch and saw me on my Nisho stream, that's one of my 3 pet peeves that I gave them. Kids Young people are a pet peeve. Old people are a pet peeve. And I can't even remember the third one. Those two are so far and above everything else in my life that are on the level of annoyance. Kids and old people. They just moved in too. You haven't even assessed possible danger. Haven't even assessed possible danger. Just moved in. Have some neighbors move in. There we go. Had some neighbors just like that. Got 4 kids outside all day. And right now I think it's spring break. I know I'm renting. Old man. It's spring break. So they're outside all the time. They're outside early. They're outside in the afternoon until dinner time. I know when it's dinner time because they disappear for an hour around 6:30 to 7:30. Then they're back out until about 9. Like, golly, go inside. Get some. Oh, I know what I got. I know what they need. Oh, it's not here. I didn't put get some help in here. Get some help. But this is what I be wanting to do to him. This is what I be wanting to do to him. All right, my bad. Whew, that man. Can't stand them. Can't stand kids. But let me play this.
Hey.
That made my morning. So what's up?
Okay. I am struggling with, I guess, life not turning out as I hoped it would. And what I mean, at the army, y'all. What I mean by that is, I don't know if I want to say jealousy, but my daughter, I feel like.
Real quick pause. I wish my video playback was not so far away from like the mute and unmute button, but we need to have a talk about that at some point too. Stop it. Get some help. Life not turning out the way people expect it to, because a lot of people, I think, excuse me, are burying themselves in distraction or coping mechanisms to cover up the fact that a lot of us are disappointed in the lives that we built and the outcomes that we got. And nobody talks about it. I think almost all of us feel it, but nobody talks about it. And I'm just like, I think we need to talk about it. I think some people just need to be like, you know what? It's a lot more of us. I mean, because I put together something. The alcohol, I have a whole presentation, but I think I made it too long. I think I made it like 3 hours long. But I don't want to do 3 hours or 4 hours on that one thing. It'd be kind of depressing. But I mean, everything's job dissatisfaction is up. People are pulling away from religion. Alcohol consumption is up. Violence is starting to spike back up. Since it's a whole bunch of negativity, and we're going to act like everybody's okay and happy. Consumer debt is at the highest it's been since I can't even remember. I can't remember the stat. I looked up all this stuff. I'm like, all these indicators that are telling us, like the jealousy, all these indicators are telling us that people are unhappy and dissatisfied. What are they dissatisfied with? The quality of their lives. And we can pretend. We can try to fill our lives with stuff and try to replace our memories, bad memories, with experiences. We're always chasing. We're chasing something. We're trying to fill a hole that we can't locate. But that's a discussion we need to have, because I need other people's input. It's sad a lot of parents don't like their own kids. Facts. There's a family in my complex with like 3 to 4 packed in a 1-bedroom that allowed them to run circles in the complex. I kept thinking it was an earthquake. But they go to school most of the day. That's what's up. Let me get back to the video. That lady said she's not happy with the outcomes from her life, and she doesn't want to call it jealousy, but I'm going to let her go from there.
Like, she basically has the life that I want.
Oh.
And I know that sounds so wrong.
No, not at all.
I have a very good relationship.
Let her say that again.
That is, I don't know if I want to say jealousy, but my daughter, I feel like she basically has the life that I want.
Oh.
And I know that sounds so wrong.
Not at all.
I have a very good relationship with my daughter.
Okay.
And her boyfriend, fiance, he's very attentive. He just asked if she needs help with me. He wants to do things with her. He wants to be with her. He's financially stable. And, again, I am so happy for her. And, I feel like I do have a blessed life, but it's just kind of like, I feel like, because I recently, I've been reading your book, and it's kind of brought a lot of, I guess, bricks out.
Yeah.
And I recently, just like about a week ago, I just kind of had a meltdown.
Yeah.
And my daughter was witness to it. And so it was hard. I mean, it was like kind of everything just came up.
Yeah.
And she was there for me. And it's just,
It's a lot. So
yeah.
How old are you?
I am 54.
54.
And I've been married for almost 32 years.
Oh, so you're still married?
Now, you hear the tone of the way he asked that. Oh, you're still married. She sounds so unhappy. And most of us believe that a relationship, a long-term marriage and relationship with kids and a house and all that stuff would satisfy us. He's shocked to hear that she's still married because of the despair that's coming through in her call. I want the life my child has. She's got a wonderful husband, a wonderful partner, a wonderful life. She looks it looks fantastic. It's IG ready. It's ready to post. But she's been married for 30 years. What is that jealousy saying? What does it mean? What are you dissatisfied with? I know he's going to get into it. He's going to unpack it. But I mean, I thought that was like, that's deep. We all think a lot of, like the whole manosphere, everybody needs to get married. Marriage ain't going to save you. Kids ain't going to save you. Job ain't going to save you. None of that stuff. None of that stuff is going to make you happy. Happiness, contentment is something you got to work out for yourself. And I'm sure he's going to get to that. Bree, this is why Planned Parenthood gets my cosign. I can't stand you. Not I hate my husband low key.
Yeah.
So these are hard when you are, man, there's a lot here. Number one, thank you for being brave.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, you're not crazy. Okay. You're not.
Thank you for being brave. No, you're not crazy. A lot of people feel this way. That's what I'm saying. We need to talk. We need to have this talk because a lot of people are in a state of despair or distress. And this is why no matter what is mid, here's the problem, Bree. You're not supposed to just sit in it. You're not supposed. That's what when I'm talking about the commitment, that no matter what, you're not supposed to just sit in it unhappy. That's the wrong thing. Like the jealousy. If you feel the thing, if you feel the midness, if you feel the dryness, if you feel the unhappiness, don't sit in it. Do something. That's part of the commitment is effort to try to change. You know, that's part of the commitment. That's for me. Right. She don't like her husband. I'm sorry. Like, damn, that's bleak. She don't. And in 32 years. And that's what I'm saying. People, we got to learn to communicate. We have to learn we need to start telling each other uncomfortable truths. I don't enjoy being around you, but I'm willing to try to find a way that I can enjoy your company again. Let's have a tough conversation. Because the hurt of having that somebody, okay, if you feel like that, I don't want to be with you anymore. You know what? That hurt will pass. You know what hurt don't? Man, being in there 30, 40 years is feeling miserable. You know? Yeah. He don't like her ass either, I bet. Yeah. Romance. Marginal attraction, marginal need.
Nuts. All right. Number three, when you first start to realize what you're carrying around, those bricks,
mm-hmm.
I don't know somebody that has not had a sit down and weep heavily. I don't know that person, myself included. Yeah. When I realized what I was carrying around, it was a lot. Yeah. A, I didn't realize I was even carrying it. B, I didn't realize that those things were still fresh, so fresh to the surface of my skin. Three, I didn't realize that I had compromised so many of my other relationships because of what I was carrying, right? So all that stuff comes at once, and it's just a lot. Yours is unique in that you're grieving something that you're still living.
Well, and I think I know a lot of it stems from my past because I know my childhood was pretty crappy. Mm-hmm. I mean, it wasn't horrible, but I mean, it was pretty crappy. So sure. I guess I had hoped for better. And I just had hoped, I guess, that my husband would honor me in the way that her boyfriend seems to honor her. Mm. For example, she didn't want to have sex before marriage, and he has honored that. And I've even talked to her about it, and she's like, "No, Mom, we haven't." He's
you're peer pressuring her, like, "Come on." She's like, "No,
no, I don't.
I'm messing with you. I'm messing with you." But he upholds her values, right? Her boundaries, and probably vice versa.
Yeah.
So let me tell you two things. One is he's not perfect. He's an illusion.
No.
Okay.
Right. That's the IG effect. She's looking at all of the good of their relationship and judging based on that. That comparison is the thief of joy thing is real. Don't judge other people's highlights up against your everyday. They do the same thing with the immigrant conversation. Like, why can't black people do the same thing that these immigrants do? Man, those immigrants are coming with some kind of education and resources almost all the time. Education and resources to be able to move to an entirely new country. And there's typically like some kind of sponsorship, help, pipeline systems in place to help. Nah, get out of here with that. So comparing other people's highlights to your everyday, nah, it's not good. So you definitely shouldn't do that in a relationship, in a marriage. Not good. And in the meantime, she's probably letting stuff linger in her relationship. Her husband is too. They're both probably just sitting there like Bree said, that's two avoiding people choosing a treaty of peace over quality of life because they don't like the discomfort of confrontation. That's most people. We don't like the confrontation. We don't like what we might hear back. Well, if I tell you what I really think, you might tell me what you really think. And I know I'm mid. I know I'm not really trying. I know. So she wants her daughter to have the life she has. I don't think that's the truth. I think she wants the daughter she wants the life she thinks her daughter has. It's like the 80-20 rule.
Okay.
Sure.
There's no such thing as Mr. Right. That entity doesn't exist outside of a Marvel show. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's really tempting to look at your life as it has been and the compromises you've made, the things that your husband has steamrolled over, whether those are your needs, your desires, your dreams, where you want to live, all those.
Real quick, man, what it do, Yella, man? Appreciate you, my guy, man. You know, you doing big things. You know, we're gonna pause this for a hot second, like a hot pot of coffee. Because
put that coffee down. Coffee's for closers only. You think I'm fucking with you?
shout out to Yellow Pill in the building, man. Appreciate you. Gang in the building. But let me get back to this.
Things, right? There's gonna be a litany of them. It's easy to look at what your daughter has and say, well, if I had that. And what I'll tell you is that's great that he listens to her values. That means he loves her, and that's great. And that's great that she trusts him with her boundaries. That's great. But you're superimposing your regrets on a fantasy. And so I want to caution you about that, okay? It's not real. He might be great. He may be wonderful. He's not perfect, okay? The second thing is, have you sat down any point over the last 30 years?
30 years.
And told your husband, here's what I need.
Actually, I did.
Okay, how'd it go?
We had actually a long talk over the weekend. And I told him, I said, here's what I want you to do.
You did for the first time in 30 years, right?
No, we've actually done it before.
Okay.
But it's just kind of like, okay, you know, and he's like, well, am I in trouble? And no, I just want to talk. But I told him, I said, I want you to make a list and, you know, things that you think that I could do to make our marriage better or whatever. And I'll have a list and we'll sit down and talk. So I gave him a pad of paper and he wrote down 3 things. And I'm like, that's it? Well, yeah, that's all I can think of. And I'm like, okay, be brutally honest. He said, no, that's just it. And he wrote.
Man, we need to address this too at some point. What it takes to satisfy a man is totally different from what it takes to satisfy a woman. We have to, I would give word to the women. Just because you have a long laundry list of things that you feel are you're unhappy about or dissatisfied with, let's take it back to the color conversation. Y'all see more colors. Y'all see more color. Y'all experience more emotional range. So there are more things to micro nitpick that you're unhappy about. He probably sees 3 colors and he sees all of those colors good enough that he's content. Let him be content with that. He picked out 3 things. Cool. That means he's okay. Okay is good for most of us because okay is way better than bad, which we're used to. Let us be okay with okay. You want everything perfect, and that perfectionism, there's a therapist who is therapizing women who suffer from perfectionism. I can point you to her. She's no longer seeing men because we trigger her emotional and nervous system. So she's definitely here to help you with that perfectionism. I'll get you her contact information right after this stream if that's what you need. He's happy. Yeah, now she just worked herself up into a fucking crisis. I've been here 5 minutes and she done pissed me off. She ain't no different. She ain't no different than the woman who had a panic attack in her car over a wedding to a man that don't exist, that don't fucking exist. Now she in a crisis. Fuck her too. I hope Billy didn't make that list. Run! Let me go back like 3 seconds. Let me do the yellow thing. 541.
Okay, be brutally honest. He said, no, that's it. And he wrote down communication, intimacy, and he felt like he could help more. I was like, well, that's not really me. He said, but, well, I know I need to help more. And the communication has, kind of always been an issue. The intimacy deal it's hard for me because I have fibromyalgia. I've had some issues with, I think, things in our past and things early on in our marriage. I've been to the doctor because for whatever reason, this is going to sound truly bizarre, but there's been times when we've been intimate and I will suddenly have a thunderclap headache.
There's nothing strange about that.
Listen, she gets the headache during intimacy, not before. Honey, I cannot have a headache. He touches her and she gets a thunderclap headache. Her headache just doof. Like, that's crazy to me. That's crazy.
Sex with your husband is not safe for your body.
So, I'm like, and of course he's just like, wow, I'm just that good, huh?
Which is a classic thing for an idiot to say in the middle, right?
But he was basically, he was like, how can I help? I'm sorry. I'm like,
of course.
And of course I'm like, grabbing my head and just like bawling my eyes out, and it lasts for a few minutes. And doctors, they don't know anything about it. I'm like, well, what do I do? And it's like, well, here, take this pill. I'm like, I take a lot of pills. Yeah. Thanks a lot.
So here's the thing. Just in the very limited things you're telling me, sitting down and saying, what are a couple of things, or what are all the things that can make our marriage better? That is a way to distance yourself from you. And the whole crux of this book is you looking in the mirror and saying, I need this. And you haven't done that probably ever. You may have said, I want this, or it would really be nice if, but just I'm reading between the lines here. This guy hurt you before.
Yeah.
Okay. And it may have been multiple times. And for any number of reasons, for the sake of the marriage, for the kids, for the appearance, for whatever, the security and the financial safety, whatever the reasons.
Yeah. And I almost left him a couple times.
There you go. So you've put this entity ahead of you for a long time. And that's the way we're taught. That's the way Sunday school taught people. That's the way schools and parents taught. It's this thing. But if the people in this thing aren't safe and aren't okay, this thing doesn't work. Right? It's like focusing on the building, and we don't need steel. Let's just use styrofoam because we're focusing on the building. It's like the building's gonna fall down because the pillars aren't strong. And so instead of sitting down and saying, hey, what are the things? Write down everything, brutally honest, that you can make this marriage better. Say, what do you need from me to give you a life that gives you peace so that you can give me what I need? Because for 35 years, you have not. And that's going to come back to, I do this, I do. And you know what? He's kind of right on one of the issues, on probably all the issues. He's probably right. I think it's fair when he writes communication. It's not what he thinks. But I don't know how often you've sat down and said, I still can't breathe sometimes when I think about what you did.
Yeah. Well, and I told him, I said,
yeah, not even like, fuck the building. Nothing. Not even Jesus himself can say that. She did that, dumbass. Can't save this clusterfuck. Now listen, what I like about it is that he got to the heart of the matter. Communication is a problem. Now we know that faulty communication will cause a problem with intimacy with women. You can talk yourself out of intimacy with women. Then he talked about he doesn't do enough to help. We all know that women, there's a response. If they're overloaded, overwhelmed, it can cost you some intimacy with women. And then his last thing was intimacy. Yeah, he's just not having intimacy because she doesn't trust him. He probably cheated or something. I don't know if they're even gonna get to that. I don't know. But I don't know. They might get to it. But you're right though about this guy. He's very biased against men, and it irks my soul. But he does give some good advice. He does give some good advice. Like he pulled it out that it was about her. He's like, you're trying to offload on him. He's the problem. But what about you? She's dealing with bitterness due to past hurts. Facts. Man, you're not harming me to the point where I'm having panic attacks. Me nor you don't deserve this. And he says this all the time. You deserve a better life. He deserves a better life. Everybody, the kids deserve better. Everybody deserves a version of us that shows up as our best possible version at that moment. We deserve that life. But a lot of times we won't communicate. We won't communicate what it is that we need, because a lot of times we haven't even identified what it is that we need. And to Bree's credit, she always talks about people having the room to explore, to find out what the things are that they need. And most of us just don't. We assume what we were told we need was our actual needs, but that's not true. We all have different needs, and people don't account for that. We try to standardize people. You can't assembly line people. We all come off different. We have different needs, and we get fooled like that.
You have to understand, I said, there are certain things that maybe you do that maybe are triggers. And he said, well, that's not fair to punish me for things that happen. And I'm trying to make him understand it's not you. It's just something I have to deal with. And I am seeing somebody right now.
Right. So listen, this idea of, well, you can't punish me for that's oh, that language pisses me off, man. Because it takes somebody else's hurt.
He's really honestly a good guy.
Listen. Hold on. Now you're going to defend him. And that's what you've done for 35 years. Stop. Okay. I believe he's probably got some great qualities. Awesome. Your body is not safe with him. Okay? That doesn't mean he's going to hurt you. Right?
No, I don't believe he won't hurt me.
No, exactly. But right when it starts to get very, very real, you roll off into trying to defend him and protect him. And it's fine. It's okay. I get headaches. Everyone. Here's what I'm trying to tell you. You have to own what happened. Period. And he's right. Punishment never solves anything. It just doesn't solve it. It's just not going to help. But your pain and your hurt isn't punishing him.
Yeah.
Your pain and your hurt is something you got to heal from. It's classic self-centered, the whole world revolves around me, when somebody's healing from sexual trauma and their partner's like, oh, are you going to punish me by not having sex with me? That's like me stepping on a nail and I got to get my foot healed. And my wife goes, oh, you're going to punish me by not going for a run for me just because your foot has a nail in it? Yes.
Well, I mean, I know that I'll put it this way. In the past couple of years, I can probably count on one hand the times that we've been intimate. And honestly, he told me at one point, he said, no, if we never have sex again, it's okay. But of course, it's not okay.
Right.
And
now, real quick, I want to point out, because this is the jealousy thing. We're going to tie this back into the jealousy, because she said she liked the fact that her daughter was abstaining until marriage. And the man honored and respected that boundary and her values. She looked up to that. That was something she was jealous of. That's something that she cited out of her own mouth. She offered that. It wasn't pulled from the host. She offered that. Now her husband, who is not receiving sexual intimacy and probably romantic intimacy, not receiving probably any friendship intimacy from his wife, he's been said, if we never have that type of intimacy again, I will honor that. He's doing what she said she was jealous of the boyfriend doing. So this is what I meant by jealousy. You have to start looking at it as an indicator, because am I even receiving what I'm asking for and just not recognizing it? She got what it is she said the boyfriend was giving to her daughter that she was jealous of. Somebody honoring her boundaries as far as sexual intimacy. So what are you jealous of? What are you jealous of? It doesn't take someone being a terrible person to traumatize you. More often than not, you betrayed yourself. Now he is a trigger for her. He's a generic brand of Dr. Phil. I like it. It is what it is. She is traumatized. He also may be a good dude. They can both be true. And even though she has a trauma that she has not been dealing with for 30 years, because this is where if we're talking about where the victim lies, she's the victim of some sort of trauma. True. And also, the man is the victim of now being neglected through intimacy in his marriage. He's committed to somebody who has withdrawn intimacy due to her trauma and has not done the necessary work to reintegrate intimacy into their relationship. So he is also a victim. And this is where I have a problem with this guy, even though he has a lot of keen insights. He's biased against men, because that should be very obvious. It should be very obvious. Oh, well, you haven't had intimacy with your husband except like maybe 2 to 3 times in the last 5 years. Oh, that's a problem. because you probably don't sit there and have long chit chats. So you probably don't connect. You probably don't connect through long conversations. As a guy, one of the only ways he probably connected with you was through physical intimacy, and he's not getting access to that. So he probably doesn't have much of a relationship with you at all, other than maintaining a household. He's probably a housemate. And it ain't good Walmart generic brand. This is Dollar Tree generic Dr. Phil. I can't stand y'all. This is why you get the hell on sometimes. But here's the thing, though, Bree. When the next person is also going to be her. If he leaves, the next person is also going to be her. And if she leaves, the next person is also going to be him. Because we're conditioned and broken in a lot of the same ways throughout society. You're going to just run into another version of that because you're going to draw and attract and be attracted to the same breaking points that you're fractured in. So if you don't cure the thing in yourself, you'll never be able to attract and be attracted to something that's healthier for you. So it comes back to the self. I mean, but that's what these people are going to do because there's something that they want or need and they're trying to fill it through another person. These obviously, she's been 33 years in a bad relationship. Do you think she's going to stay single and heal? Nah. What did he do? Because all I hear is vague language. Did he beat her? Cheat on her? Because it sounds like she just saying shit. Yeah, I'll stop myself from saying great value. But if I traumatize you and now become your trigger, we may never be able to move past that. And that's a conversation. That's a conversation. But that's what I'm saying. All of this stuff should be conversations. And I don't think they're having the real conversations. Like when he said, do you sit down with your husband and have a conversation about what you need in a relationship? What she said was, we had a conversation this weekend. It's been 33 years. Now, when he challenged her on that, she said, yeah, we've had more conversations than that. But why would the first one be, oh, yeah, we had that conversation this weekend? That sounds just like me. In their case, nah, I'm your trigger. Go ahead and heal, baby. I may never be able to be safe for you. And that's cool. I'm with you. But that's something, if they haven't even gone to therapists about that, they haven't gone to couples counseling, she probably doesn't even fully, until she does anything, nobody can know nothing. Nobody can know anything until she does something. If she doesn't do something, we're just saying like, okay, nobody wants to address the issue, so we're leaving. But if nobody makes any effort, that's not commitment. Part of what I'm saying when I say no matter what includes both of us giving effort to maintain and repair anything that's broken. That's part of no matter what does not mean you get to abandon ship and I gotta stay on it and sink. That's not no matter what. No matter what means we're both on the ship. If we're not both on the ship, that's not no matter what. You're not about to be around making me feel like Jason in this bit. This why fucking no matter what. Nah, no matter what means no matter what to most people. I get you. But for me, the beginning of that sentence is we are in this together no matter what. No matter what are external circumstances. But if we are not in this because you've checked out, then we are not in this. So there is no matter what. You've left the matter to me. And this is the mid that you're talking about. This is the worst case scenario, or the normal. I'll say the normal case scenario.
And, I know he was trying to be kind, and I know he hates the things I have to deal with. Like he told me yesterday, I've been to another doctor and he said, I hate this. I can't stand that you have to deal with this. But I'm kind of like, I deal with it. Yeah. It's just life.
So let me ask you this. Is this going to sound like a crazy question? Mm-hmm. Do you want to heal? And
absolutely.
Listen, hold on before you answer that. I know of course I don't have headaches anymore. That's not the question. Headaches are the alarm system. They're just letting you know that you're not safe. That you're not okay. And again, I'm not a doctor. I'm just making this up. It could be completely physiological, but I'm just going off based off what you just told me just now. Okay. If you want to heal, you're going to have to get with a therapist and deal with the trauma from your past. Because your body is still responding in the present to things that happened to you. Your body has one mechanism, and it's to protect you from tigers or bears. And something happened in the past, probably multiple times, as you mentioned, that your brain has GPS pinned him as a bear, as a tiger.
Yeah.
He's not safe. And until that heals, partly from you choosing, I'm going to go deal with this. And that means you're going to have to deal with the consequences of what happened. Because you may have to look at him and said, you did these things, and I've got to heal from this. And then you're going to have to say, now I'm going to set these bricks down and relearn what intimacy looks like with my husband.
Right.
If that's the choice you make. Or the choice might be that I'm out. I'm done with this.
Yeah.
Okay. But all I have to say is, when I say, are you ready to heal from this? That's twofold. Are you ready to, for real, probably for the first time, actually own this? And two, are you willing to be vulnerable and risk again moving forward? And both of those things have to be true. You cannot white knuckle intimacy for the rest of your marriage. Your body's continuing to tell you, I'm not safe, I'm not safe, I'm not safe. So here's what it feels like, okay? And this is me, just picture us having nachos, okay? This isn't like, I'm not lecturing you. It feels like, you know. And it feels like he is a good guy, and he's provided for us, and he's done these things. And you want to protect him, and you want to protect the image, you want to protect the thing y'all have. And your body is saying, we're not okay, we're not okay, we're not okay. Am I right or am I wrong?
Yeah.
Okay.
Real quick. This entire time, that's why I say jealousy is an indicator. And it's typically an indicator of something within you, not of what you're jealous of. She was jealous of her daughter's relationship. Not because of the greatness or quality of her daughter's relationship, but because she felt a deficiency in her relationship. A deficiency that she herself helped to create and perpetuate. That she's done nothing to mitigate. Excuse me. That wasn't even really there because her husband honors her intimacy boundaries just the same way that the boyfriend honored her daughter's intimacy boundaries. So whatever this trauma is centered around, it wasn't around the respecting of boundaries of intimacy, because now she's getting that and she's still not recognizing that. And she didn't seek any help for whatever her trauma was. So in my estimation, I don't know the full situation, but she's definitely a villain. She's definitely a villain. But this is where women don't ever hear that they're the villain. And this guy's soft language doesn't ever let her know anything other than, well, you got to look at yourself, which is absolutely true. But she gets to hold herself at high regard while she kind of points down at her husband. She called this guy on the internet instead of ever going to therapy. Well, she's seeing somebody now, but again, even if you're going to therapy and you're calling the internet guy, or you didn't go to therapy and you're calling the internet guy over doing that, or communicating with your spouse, all of these things show me a little bit of character. They show me a little bit about your character. Because if you have a qualified therapist, why are you calling the internet guy? Why do you have to wait 33 years, 35 years to address this kind of stuff? 5 years, 10 years. Why? And if he's okay with that, if he's resigned himself to that kind of life, I mean, I can't fault him, but I mean, I couldn't see it. Like Bree said, I'd be moving on, but you can't fix everybody. She doesn't respect her own boundaries. He's not doing much of anything at all. She's not helping him at all. Yeah. And he just doesn't know where and how to push. He's just doing the kid gloves. He's just kid gloving her. A lot of mothers have this jealousy towards their daughters because their lives seem better. And it's a seeming better. She doesn't know what's going on behind closed doors. And if her daughter has firm boundaries, she's not telling her all the stuff that's negative. You don't do that to people. That's why the boundary stood out. She's the type that betrays herself and then blame everybody else.
And I don't understand completely why, because I don't know. I just feel like I'm just so strange, and I have talked to you about it with the person that I'm seeing, but it's almost kind of like I'm being told, well, that's in the past, and you just need.
And real quick, she keeps saying the person that I'm seeing. She's twice used that language. Not a therapist, not a counselor, not a psychiatrist. I don't know. For some reason, that's sticking out in my mind. She said twice the person that I'm seeing, which doesn't mean that she's seeing anybody qualified. Only because I've just, forgive me for being around women long enough that I know that evasive language sometimes is indicative of an untruth. She withholds. A liar by omission. B9, Patrick the starfish head ass. Right. I noticed that too.
Need to, kind of deal with it.
If a therapist tells you that, get up and walk out of their office.
Yeah.
Because it's not about you just bringing up crap from the past to throw mud and walk out of their office.
Hold up. He told somebody to walk up out of somebody's office. I got to hear that again. Hold up. Damn, why that messed me up? I see it's buffered. It's cached right there. Why is it not playing? Come on now. Don't play with me. Don't play with me. Wow.
And you just need to, kind of deal with it.
If a therapist tells you that, get up and walk out of their office.
Yeah.
Because it's not about you just bringing up crap from the past to throw mud in his face. Your body's literally telling you, not safe, not safe, not safe, not safe. And it will. It's all through the book. You will continue. Your body will continue to solve for these things until you deal with them.
Right.
Do you heal from them?
And I did happen to tell him because one thing is my daughter's boyfriend, he's financially stable. And I told my husband, we were in debt. And I told him, I said, that's one thing. I said, I sat down with this. This doesn't make me feel safe.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm dealing with all this and looking at what we have, what we don't have, that's one thing I did say. I don't feel safe.
There you go. That's the language. Whenever you take your clothes off and you come towards me and I smell your breath, my heart starts beating faster and not in the good way. I got to heal from that.
And I stiffen up and I don't know why. I mean, it's like he will come behind me and hug me and I can feel my body just stiffen up.
And so be curious about that. Don't get mad. Don't get frustrated. Don't get angry. Get curious. Why is my body trying to protect me from my husband? What is it about him?
I kind of know.
See, there you go. You know. So Becca, if nothing else on this call, I'm giving you permission to go get well. And make no mistake, this journey will be hell. It'll be hard. Because you know why your body stiffens up. You know why. And you got to go deal with that. And that deal with that may be confrontation. It may be separation. It may be EMDR and trauma response, and he's a part of it. And it may be you writing him letters. This is what happened. This is what you did to me, and this is why my body continues to respond. And there's going to be healing where your body knows I wasn't safe then, because 30 years ago we were all different people, and 25 years ago he did some things that hurt me. That's not him anymore. But I got to let my body know that at one point this bear was going to eat me, and now this bear sleeps in the house. And that's the healing arc here. And that may mean that this pretty beautiful bone white facade that you've created around your life and your marriage and your kids, it may be that it's going to crumble on you a little bit, or you're going to have to take some pieces down, or you're going to end up having to move to a trailer for a while. All of that is, and that's, I'm being metaphorical, by the way. All of that is about safety.
It wasn't metaphorical.
Healing your body. Because touch from your husband, touch from your wife, touch from your romance should be something that gives your body, not the other way around. So be curious about that body response, but you don't have to be, you already know. Let me say this. You're worth the healing. As hard as it's going to be. And don't romanticize and lionize what your daughter has. Cheer her on, right? Celebrate with her. Here's the deal. You're 54, so you're a little over halfway done because you're going to live to be 100. Whenever you feel jealous, be curious about it. Like, oh man, why am I getting frustrated when I see him? Oh, I don't have these three things. And then we're going to loop back and have that conversation again. This is ripe for counseling for you and for your marriage. And at some point, this idea of communication, this idea of intimacy, you need to get there. But it's going to come down to those conversations like you've begun and you're brave. I don't feel safe when. I don't feel safe when you touch me. I don't feel safe when we owe people money. I don't feel safe when I think you're going to quit all the time. I don't feel safe when you yell. That has to end in this home. And I want to learn how you can touch me again. But that means we're going to have to go deal with what you did. And I'm going to have to forgive you for that. I'm going to have to set that down. And then I'm going to have to be vulnerable and risk moving forward. All these things, right? And you got to get a professional to walk with you because it's been a long, long, long time.
Yeah, she's going to have to find a professional instead of that person that she's seeing. Because she's definitely got a lot of trauma. Because it's blinded her. It's blinded her to the fact that her husband has stuck with her and is being patient with her while she's dealing with whatever she's actually not dealing with. While she's dealing with her, not dealing with it. Her husband can't fix it. She's not focusing on it. She's traumatized because of who knows why. She's unsafe. I'm assuming the way they kept alluding to it is maybe he cheated once upon a time. But that's as close as I could get. That's her condition. Her husband cannot be alongside her in her condition. He shouldn't be expected to be. People like her live forever. Right. She needs to do something. Do something before you can figure out anything. But all like I was saying with Nova earlier, like I said, it's an indicator. That jealousy, it's an indicator. What is it saying? I want the type of relationship that I believe this is. Do I have this type of relationship myself? Well, actually, she has some aspects of it, but maybe she didn't have others. So she would need to actually identify what it is that she was actually feeling jealous of in specific. One of the things she cited she was getting. So her picker might be broken too. Her eyes weren't even clear to see what she was getting out of her own relationship. OG Patrice is in the building. Hello, salute to you. Good to see you. Now, so what is jealousy that you feel trying to tell you? Is it trying to tell you that you aren't good enough, that you aren't trying because you gave up, that you don't believe in yourself? Those feelings, those are feelings. All the men and women, we talked about Pearly a little bit, that are jostling for power and control and attention, the people falling out over Ron Weasley, all of it is indirect communication. I'm not happy with who, how, or where I am. That's what the jealousy is saying. I'm lacking. But in what capacity? Maybe it's not actual. Maybe it's just perception. Maybe it's just a feeling. Maybe it's an emotional deficiency when they look at the comparison. Because again, most people are comparing somebody else's highlights to their everyday. And that's not a fair comparison. That's where the work is going to be for her, for the people that are all up in arms over this Pearly things, all of that. That's where your attention should go immediately. So next time any of you happen to feel triggered by jealousy, or what somebody else is doing, what somebody else has, just sit with yourself and ask what that feeling is saying to you specifically. Those are the green eyes from the thumbnail. They aren't really looking outwardly. Those green eyes are looking back within you. And you need to investigate that. If she has a jealous feeling about her daughter, is enough proof to me that she don't deserve. And see, I disagree. It's not that alone. That alone is not the reason that she don't deserve anything. To me, that's just a message. There's something that I want that I don't have. What is it? Is it that she desires to be more like her daughter? Because it might be like Bree said earlier, and I started. She don't like herself. If she's getting some of the things that the boyfriend is giving to the daughter from her husband, which she says she was, even though she didn't catch it, I did. It's probably not the husband and boyfriend that she's actually got a problem with. It's probably herself. She wants to be more like her daughter. She probably wants to be more open. She probably wants to be more resilient. She probably wants to be more communicative. She probably wants to have firmer boundaries, because Bree did talk about her boundary enforcement. She probably just wants to be more like her daughter emotionally. She probably wants to feel safe, stable, and secure, and doesn't know how to get there. That's probably what her jealousy is saying. And she doesn't know how to do it. She wants to be young again, a second chance. Just graduate, bitch. And that could be it too. It could be that she's like, I've been 30 years in this relationship. We've let it get to a place where we don't even touch each other. And if he does touch me, I get a migraine. I get a migraine. Migraine. Every time she touches me. Every time he touches me, it's gotten to that level. I want to feel that feeling again. When I was young and we really enjoyed, we couldn't stop touching each other. We couldn't stop holding each other's hands, looking each other's eyes, calling each other on the phone. I want to feel that again. I haven't felt something in so long. When I talked about crashing, people crashing into each other so they feel something. That's a real thing. Because people allow themselves to get to a place where they're desensitized. They don't feel anything. They're nose blind to their life. So they got to go stick their nose in somebody else's business to catch a whiff. I agree. She gets a migraine because she old as fuck. I feel you. I feel you. But if anybody wants to come up, chop it up, not necessarily about the topic, that's cool. If you don't, I'll get ready to move on. Scoot. I got some cleaning I need to do anyway. So, if you want to come up, that's cool. We can kick it. We can talk about this. We can talk about that. We can talk about something else. For fun, though. because I was watching Nisho and Bree yesterday over on Twitch, and he did not answer my question. I asked the hypothetical, and it did not get answered. It did not get answered. So I need you guys to answer this. Why are you here? I need you to tell me sight, sound, smell, touch, taste, and intuition. I'm going to throw intuition as a sense. Six senses. Sight, smell, taste, touch. Sight, sound, smell, touch, taste, and intuition. Out of the 6 senses that you possess, which one would you give up if you had to give up one? If you had to give up one of those, which one would you give up? That's not even the question I asked last night. That's not the question I asked last night, was it? Maybe it was. I don't know. But I need all of y'all to answer that. And I forgot that poll. I got a poll up from earlier. 67% of y'all do not get jealous. Some of y'all are jealous of a celebrity, some a family member, my friend or acquaintance. That's what's up. Answer that thing. That is what I asked? Okay. Cool. You would give up smell. That's bitterness or a health problem. Yeah, so what's the answer to y'all's question? Which sense would you all give up? And appreciate, I see, the little numbers popped up real quick. All of y'all in here, I just wrapped up. Appreciate y'all for coming through. Just wrapped up. I did drop the link if anybody wants to come chit chat. Okay, 2 of y'all dipped already. Peace. Good to see you. But if everybody's busy, nobody plans on coming up, I'm gonna go ahead and close this YouTube. I don't think I'm gonna work the poll anymore today. Bam. Ow. Ow. But Bree's the only one to answer. She would give up her sense of smell. All right. Ty Libra says smell too. That's what I went with at first. I went with smell at first. But then I changed my mind, y'all. I decided to give up taste. I figured giving up the taste might help me not want so much sweet stuff if I can't taste it. But then if I had a smell, nice insight. You already argued with me today. That's cool. What's up? Thank you. Intuition, because it's not consistent. Okay. And yeah, damn, that's true. Smell is connected to taste, but if you give up your sense of smell, you'll never know when you're funky. Like if you got body odor popping off, you'll never know because you can't smell. And I was like, I can't live like that. Even if I want to stay funky, I need to know I'm funky. Can I give up my common sense? Nova Rain, you don't have any common sense, so you can't give it up. I contemplated because smell and taste were, yeah, same here. I finally went with taste. I figured it might help me get some weight off. Like the sweets wouldn't do anything for me. If the sweets ain't sweetened, I may as well have water and kale every day. Water and kale. Man. All right, folks. Well, we had a little short one in the books, man. I'm not going to belabor the point. And I don't think I want to pivot and grab a whole nother topic out there. I'll just go do what I need to do. Otherwise, man, I really appreciate all of y'all. I would say intuition because sometimes I'm not sure of it. That's fair. Smell for Nova. Easy solution. Wash your ass. Listen, I'm a fat boy. You know what I'm saying? Stuff starts sweating. You just sitting there, you be sweating. I need to know. I need my other senses. You need them. I'll take taste for 500, Alex, please. Okay, LG, that's what's up. Cool. All right, y'all. Well, listen, I will be doing something, I guess, offline? Well, for the Patreon. I'll be doing something for the Patreon tomorrow, 4 p.m. I think I am going to keep my little misogynistic rants. I'm going to keep that over there. I think that's what I'm going to do. It's going to be the patriarchy Patreon. I think that's what it's going to be. So, ladies, stay out of that. Any support y'all want to give me, make sure it's Patreon. But, I do appreciate the support y'all do give, the support, the views, the watch. I appreciate the comments, all of it. Appreciate the love. But make sure y'all stay out of the Patreon. Chocolate chip cookies, pizza, peace and love, butter biscuits, Patriarchy 2.0, Patreon. That's probably what's going to happen. Fried chicken, man. I know, but then I wouldn't be tempted because it don't taste like nothing. I could just eat vegetables all day. I could just raw dog vegetables all day. Patriarchy Patreon, yeah. Raw dog and some vegetables, man. Some snap peas, carrot, some bell pepper. Ain't gotta cook nothing. Get all the nutrients fresh. Patronizing Patreon gonna be mine for the ladies. Yeah. There you go. There you go. All right, y'all. Well, listen. It is last call. Last call. Hope you enjoyed today. Hope you enjoyed your beverage. It is time to settle your tab. Tip your bartender. Mrs. She Said in the building. Grab who you came with. I want to thank you for choosing this raw dogging with vegetables. It's a very vivid image for me. Mrs. She Said, appreciate you for coming through. Just getting ready to head out. Thank you for choosing to spend your time with me, because you could have been anywhere in the world, but you're right here. So I want to thank you, each and every one of you who rocked out in the chat. Nova, Ty Lieber, Enya, Bree, Yella, Mrs. She Said popped in, OG Patrice popped in. I think a couple of other people popped in. B9 Nizzle popped through. So my next stream will be for certain, my guaranteed stream will still be Tuesdays. Tuesdays, 3 p.m. is going to be my set time. Everything else is going to be extra. But I commit to being here every Tuesday. If Bree can't make it, I'll be here by myself, but I will be here every Tuesday. The time may move. But I'll be here every Tuesday. Every other day, we'll see. Everything else is a work in progress. Bye. Good day and good night to all of you beautiful people. I hope you get home safe. I got an 8.1 out of 10. That's what's up. I appreciate that. Bye. All right, I did not do an intro. I need something to do when I don't feel like playing the intro. I'm looking. So I'm going to turn the music off and find what I want to do when I don't feel like playing an intro.